Detective Mills opened his eyes. Coughing hard, he spat the dust and filth which had found its way into his throat and lungs. He scrambled from the ground to his knees, choking, gagging, and fighting for air, only to find it stale and musty. Once Mills regained his breath, he tended to the throbbing pain in his left temple. He raised his hand to the side of his head and then examined his fingers in the faint light to find them glazed in blood. "Must have caught it on the way down," he grumbled, as he looked up at the large hole in the ceiling above him. He shook the grogginess away and studied his current surroundings. The room was dark, and filled with the shapes of boxes, tools, and shelves. A faint smell of rot lingered in the air, most of it wood, and the rest was something Mills dreaded. He dipped his hand into his large trench coat and fetched out a small flashlight. He clicked it on and swept its bright beam across the room, taking a better look around. Mills turned, and that's when he saw it. A small puddle of glistening blood lay on the ground, and beside it, a blood-splattered badge. Mills snatched up the badge, and hoped it wasn't his partner's. He read the name, Detective James Ford, and his heart began to race. "Jim. Oh fuck," he gasped. Mills looked around to find his partner's body, but only found a trail of blood leading away from the puddle. Mills took the radio from his belt and brought it up to his mouth. "Dispatch! Dispatch! Come in, dispatch," Mills whispered. The radio let out faint screeches and crackles of static, but no voice responded. "Shit," Mills grunted, as he placed the broken radio back on his belt. He wrenched up his .44 out of the holster and aimed it ahead. He'd be damned if he was going to let some child kidnapping psycho kill his partner. The partner who watched his back for 23 years. The partner who was the best man at his wedding. The oldest friend he had. Mills followed the trail of blood to the far end of the room, which led behind a stack of boxes. The trail ended at an old rotted wooden trapdoor, covered in smears of blood. Holding the flashlight between his teeth and his revolver at the ready, Mills gripped the iron ring, pulling open the trapdoor, making as little noise as he could. The trapdoor revealed a black void, which stretched down for what Mills thought was at least 40 feet. An ancient wooden ladder descended into the void, along the side of what looked like cobbling, as if it were a well. Mills holstered his gun and climbed down into the void, and made his way down the creaking and cracking wood, leaving the derelict mansion above him. After a few moments, Mills reached the bottom of the ladder and drew his gun again. Mills found more blood on the ground before him, along with chunks of torn flesh and what looked like a crushed eyeball. "Christ," grunted Mills, tightening his grip around his gun. He cleared his left and right, but nobody was around, and the blood trail vanished. Mills found himself in the middle of a cobbled tunnel. Mills' heart skipped a beat, and he bolted upright when his radio crackled to life loudly. He quickly grabbed it. "Dispatch, this is Mills. I'm at the old Gregson mansion where the girl was last sighted. We have a possible—" Mills was cut off by singing on the radio. "What the hell?" Mills grunted, staring at the radio. The voice was broken and distorted, but definitely a little girl's, singing "Mary Had a Little Lamb." "She's alive. The kid found Jim's radio," Mills mumbled as he realized. "Tina? Tina Wilson, is that you, honey? I'm here to get you out of here, sweetie. Where are you?" said Mills softly into the radio, as he looked at the photograph from his pocket, given to him by her parents. The singing immediately stopped. "Tina!" Mills barked into the radio, as he darted through the tunnel, scanning left and right for signs of anything. "He visits me only at bedtime," the girl's voice on the radio crackled again. Mills remembered the parents of the other 12 girls saying they kept seeing things at night before they disappeared. "Who, honey? What does he look like?" Mills asked, as he carried on further into the tunnel. "He used to crawl out the closet like a cat. I used to be scared of him, but he said he would protect me. He said he loves me," the radio crackled, but with less distortion. "She's close," Mills gasped, as he felt his aged legs struggle to keep running. "Tina? You have to tell me where you are," Mills spluttered in a stern voice. "I had to go with him. He said bad things would happen if I didn't." The girl's voice spoke, but not from the radio. Mills looked to his right and saw the little girl sitting on the ground hugging her knees with her head down. She was naked and splattered in dry blood. Mills threw his trench coat over the girl immediately and crouched beside her. "Sweetie, are you hurt? Did he hurt you?" Mills moved her long matted brown hair from her face. She raised her head to face Detective Mills. Mills let out a choked growl in horror at the sight of Tina's face. The girl's eye sockets were empty and oozed with dark crimson fluid, forming crust on her cheeks.
"No, he loves me!"
roared the girl in an inhuman and low-pitched voice, her jaws opening wider than possible. Mills shifted back from the creature, but crashed into something hard. Mills shone his light up as he lay on his back, to reveal a large hooded figure with long arms and giant gnarled hands bearing razor-like talons. The hooded creature hissed and gurgled as it glared with its blue glowing eyes and raised its hands. Mills raised his magnum and fired, but missed as something pounced on him. Mills gurgled and choked as Tina ripped and tore at him with her teeth, spraying blood all over herself. All the while, the hooded figure gave out a low-pitched, gurgling laugh. "Ray! Ray! It's Jim here. Where the hell are you?" crackled Mills' radio, in a puddle of his own blood.